In this episode, we're gonna check out the ToyShock. Oh. Alright guys, we are going to waste no time and get right to it. So what are we going to talk about today? We're talking about this new product by a company called ToyShock. So what this thing is, it's actually a 3/4 scale virtual pinball device. Now, it's preloaded with 12 games. It is one of those things where this is not to be confused with something like this, right? It's Big Brother, the big, regulation size pinball machines that are actually virtual. These are much more expensive. So what the hopes is that this product is going to provide a more cost-effective experience that takes up a lot less space in your home. But we don't know whether it's going to do that or not. So if you're new to it, I wanted to run this little commercial real quick so you can see exactly how they're marketing the product, and then we can kind of check it out in person and see, what this thing is all about.
It's Digital Pinball, a real arcade gameplay experience with 3D technology and realistic features that bring the arcade right into your home. You and your friends will have hours of arcade entertainment. Its solid construction and arcade features are a great addition to every home. Kids, parents, and even grandparents can play. With multiple game options in every model, you can play hit games like Haunted House, Black Hole, Bone Busters, and more. Get your digital pinball machine today by ToyShock.
ToyShock. All right, so that's it. That's what it's all about, right? It's got 12 games. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these games, it's by Gottlieb. Now, not by Gottlieb, but it has Gottlieb licensed titles. Now, Gottlieb is actually kind of a veteran in the pinball. They actually created the very first mechanical pinball device. So a lot of those games might not be as well known to me in my age bracket because I'm 40 years old. I was born in 1979. A lot of those game titles actually came out around 80, 85. Yeah, they're not as recognizable to me, and they don't pull on the heartstrings of me. So I think what we should do now is we should just go and take a look at the actual device itself. I have one here, and let's see, what is it all about? Is it a toy? Is it something to replace, these larger virtual pinballs, and it's just a smaller scale? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, so when you boot up the system, you're going to be greeted with this front-end interface. You use the 2 side buttons to scroll through it, and you've got 12 Gottlieb titles here. So, some of the signature ones that are on here, Black Hole, you've got Haunted House, obviously that's actually what the cabinet is made from, the artwork and everything. Lights, Camera, Action's another popular one. TX Sector. So there's a decent selection of games. It's the 12 games. You can't add additional games. If you go to the options menu here, you can adjust the volume. I have it turned down right now because it plays a Who song called Pinball Wizard, and I don't want to be striked for that. So anyhow, we're going to go into TX Sector as our first game to check out, and then we'll go from there. Okay, here we are. This is TX Sector. I put the volume up all the way, and I'm going to press the start button. So these aren't touch screens. This is actually just a graphic. If you go right below it, there's a button. I'm going to press that to start. You'll notice the plunger is right here on the side. The plunger is pretty accurate, so if you move back, you'll see I can make little micro movements, and it's pretty fluid. So they did a pretty good job with this. Surprisingly, it looks ugly, but it does work well. So I'm going to press that back, and we'll see. The first thing you'll kind of notice is the sounds aren't the best. So, pinball is all about the sights and the sounds. The sound's kind of tinny on this thing. It's not the best. So just keep in mind, if you're looking for something that's got this amazing sound, it is a $400 unit, so you might want to, if you were considering a mod, that might be a simple and easy mod for you. The other thing you'll notice is the screen image is rather flat, doesn't really have a 3D effect to it, so if you've played more expensive virtual pinball machines, it's not going to give you that same experience that you'd expect out of a machine that's a lot more expensive. But keep in mind, it's $400, and the company is marketing this as a toy. So I don't view this as a contender for like a legitimate expensive virtual pinball machine like the one I showed in the intro to the video. I do notice a little bit of lag from the flipper inputs, but it's not terrible, but there is a little bit of lag, so that does kind of affect the overall experience. So if you have played, like I said, on a more expensive virtual pinball device, that may, that may bug you. Well, I'm doing really great too for this video. I always feel like when I record these, I have terrible gaming sessions, but we'll switch to a different game real quick, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the unit. Okay, the next game we're going to play is Victory. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about really quick that comes up quite often is the bezel. Yes, the bezel is a bit distracting. I think I understand the aesthetic they were trying to go with here. They were trying to go with the original pinball design that had the rails on the side and the rail right here. The problem is because the screen is 24 inches, they had to bring the bezel in, so it kind of ruins that original pinball effect. It is what it is, guys. I think after a while of playing, it sort of goes away because you're fixated on the play field, but it is one of those things I just wanted to talk about because it is a concern for some people. And you'll also notice that there's a sort of a graphical heads-up display on the top there. That can be shut off or turned on based on how you want it to be. So you can turn that on, turn that off. That's up to you. Ooh, I got lucky there. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, I want to show you some of the in-game options really quick, and then we'll, then we'll kind of go to final thoughts. All right, so before you actually enter your game, you have the ability to go to an options menu. And in the options menu, you can do a bunch of different things. You can obviously exit the table itself, which will go back to the main menu, or you can go to instructions. Instructions is really neat because it's a place where you can learn all about the table. You can play any one of these videos individually or play them as one single, sort of table option. And it will actually give you a walkthrough of this particular table, which is really neat. So it gives you basic level instructions, and then it'll zoom in on specific sections of the table to tell you, what you need to do to score additional points or whatever the goals are of this particular table. And every pinball machine is unique in that way, which makes, pinball fun. So anyways, this is something that they added, which I think is really neat. Most of the virtual pinball machines actually have this nowadays, where you can walk through the game to see how to play. In addition, you'll see something that says standard goals. If I go down to that, it'll give you some basic goals of the game. So complete the race, complete the fuel targets, score a checkpoint bonus. So it gives you a walkthrough of what you need to do for each table. I think this is pretty cool because if you're unfamiliar with this table or you never played this pinball in a mechanical form, you can actually learn how to play it here with some basic instruction. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on the ToyShock? Sorry, I've got so used to calling it that. So, I mean, aesthetically, I have some trouble with it because of this, the metal bezel around the monitor. It doesn't look the best, but again, if that doesn't bother you, then no big deal. It is pretty small, and it is relatively short. So if it was like 2 inches taller, I think I wouldn't be hunched over it. It'd probably be more comfortable for me to play. I am considering this a toy. I don't think I will mod this. It just doesn't really make sense to me at a $400 price point. I think there'd be too many things to mod, and plus maybe I'm a little jaded because I do own an actual virtual pinball, which is a full size. And I think if you're someone that's played a full-size version with a high-powered PC, this isn't going to be for you. It's definitely not going to recreate the experience in the same way. Now keep in mind, these are just initial findings. I'll probably do other videos. So tell me what you'd like me to show you. If there's things you want to see that this thing could do, I'll show those things to you. Because I know this wasn't a thorough overview, but more of just my initial thoughts and reactions. The table legs on this are actually really, really good. So the pinball legs that this has is very sturdy. The general construction of it is also very sturdy. The back glass obviously is not dynamic, however they have the digital readout, which actually looks really cool, and it does a pretty good job maintaining scores and things of different games. Unfortunately this isn't going to change, but the graphics are kind of cool. I actually think they did a good job with the artwork here. So is it worth it? In my opinion, no. For me, this is not a product for me. But it may be for you, right? If you don't mind some of these things, a little bit of the lag, the input lag that it has, the fact that it's really more of a toy grade item, maybe it's something you might want to add to your home arcade collection, but for me, it's a no. It's a no for me, dog.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
But anyways, I am going to do subsequent videos on this, so if it's something you're interested in, definitely let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see. But that's it for now, guys. Please subscribe if you like this. Please consider liking and commenting below. I want to hear what you think. And that's it. We will see you on the next one.
In this episode, we're gonna check out the ToyShock.